episode conversation of whatever the fuck we were talking about. It's so funny right before it started. But I was telling the wife earlier today. I was like, it's kind of trash that I can't just shoot to the dispensary and re-up now. Like,
That shit over with.
yeah,
You
man.
can buy it in tea bags.
I ain't know that. What I'm gonna do with that?
Muz getting creative, dog.
I ain't
One
know
of the
that.
homies just showed me. He had this big ass pouch that said herbal tea or hemp tea or some shit like that. And inside that pouch was an oversized tea bag, and in that oversized tea bag was flour.
Just nugs.
Yeah.
Huh. But if you open the tea bag,
You got what you need.
and they not allowed to sell smokable, but if they making tea with it, wow.
Man,
wow.
Hey,
Wow.
man, you gotta love the innovation, man.
That just shook me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's genius. Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
I say, man, one thing folks gonna do, they gonna find a way.
Yeah.
They gonna find a way.
Dang. I'm mad I wasn't like mentally like on the spectrum to even think of something that. You know what I'm saying? Even catch that. Wow. Cause like when HB was it 4-5, right?
Yeah, 4-4-5.
4-4-5.
4-5.
One of them two. The one that don't affect you. But when he went into play, I was like, that's crazy that they're just putting people out of business just like that, and they don't care.
Man, a lot of my folks' stores are closing, like closing. It's tough. It hurts. All folks keep looking at me like, how you maintain, man? I still work a job.
Yeah.
If I wasn't an engineer, bro, a lot of this wouldn't be possible.
Engineering. What does your wife do?
She's a site director. She works for the after school program at one of the schools in Hoover.
That's what's up. That's amazing to be able to still keep going and do your business the way you want to do it still without. Honestly, it seems like outside entities really get into your shit for real.
Yeah, man, you got to take the risk and really put it on yourself, and you got to be involved, bro. You got to be in the mix. A lot of these folks lost on that hemp side because they wasn't in the mix.
Yeah.
They wasn't showing up to the state house. They wasn't allowing for their voice to be heard. They wasn't emailing their representatives, and they were just letting this shit happen. And when shit happens, you can't be reactive to something that's already done.
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, you got to be on the front end of it. So, yeah, that's how they end up getting caught in that crosshair.
Yeah. What do you think is the best way to stay informed in that industry, period?
Follow me. Follow King Twan 84 on Instagram, LinkedIn, Antoine Mordican. You wanna stay in the loop on everything. Same Antoine Mordican on Facebook.
Okay.
I work with phenomenal groups that do a lot of this work. I'm connected with a lot of the grassroots organizations. I'm part of the grassroots organizations to make sure a lot of this stuff happens, and also me going down to the state house and speaking. Like when things come up, I know, like, the state done did some things this last legislative session.
Yes, sir, they did.
Like, with me just now, I wouldn't say I'm just now getting involved in the legislative process, but I'm becoming more understanding and familiar with it. So when they get a bill that get introduced on the floor, within 24 hours, it's already assigned to a committee, and that committee is hearing it the very next day.
I didn't know it was the next
and
day.
they was planning on taking a vote.
That same day?
That same day.
Wow, I didn't know that.
I got a call from Montgomery. They were like, yeah, I just want to make you aware that this is happening. I hopped on my horn. I called all the operators. I'm like, yeah, we got to be in Montgomery tomorrow. We showed up, filled that room up, spoke against that bill. Don't move forward with this. And, some of the legislators in there thought that it was a pretty good bill, thought it was going to create a quote-unquote open market. I'm like, only way you get an open market, you make all us vertically integrated.
Yeah.
Creating more vertically integrated license, that minimizes my market share as a cultivator, because that's all I can do is grow. I can't dispense it. I can't process it. I can't transport it. You cut me out a whole bunch of stuff. So they was trying to increase the vertically integrated license from 5 to 15. I'm in the argument like, who say we need that?
What is the vertical integration license?
Man, vertically integrated, they get to grow the weed, they get to process and manufacture the weed, they get to transport the weed, and they get to sell the weed. Only thing they can't do is test it. They can't. The official testing got to come from a state lab.
Yeah. Wow. So I see what you mean. It puts you at a huge disadvantage.
Absolute huge disadvantage.
Yeah.
And some folks like, well, that'll give you a more market shares that you can do more business, vertically integrated licenses, and get into more stores and shops and stuff like that. I looked at them straight in the face. Who say they got to do business with me? They can use me for the year until they get up and running. They get their grow and everything together. Year 2 come around, they got their grows and everything together. Who to say they need to buy from me?
Yeah.
Now, if y'all ain't adding in that, saying that at least 50% of your inventory got to come from a licensed cultivator,
They just cutting you out, essentially.
Yeah. I'm ultimately cut out.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't play them games, man. My legislators know. You gonna see me. You gonna see me.
Hey, Twan pulling up. Jack, I like that, though. I think honestly, I think that the answer to that question is amazing, that you are the source for information, because I think a lot of the times people just pretend they know stuff.
It's a lot of that.
Yeah. And when people pretend they know stuff, they get themselves in a lot of bad situations, and honestly, situations you ain't had no business being in. So for you to be able to be a business owner and be successful, you have to be informed. So I think that's amazing that the very first thing that came on me, I am informed. I am the information.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
And I know y'all ain't in there. Nah, that's one thing I tell folks. I get a lot of folks that reach out through my social media outlets and stuff, and be like, bro, let me pick at your brain, let me run this by you, let me see what you think, or let me, just talk to you about the program. I'm like, all right, this is what we can do. It's a commission meeting on this day that's gonna be in Montgomery. Come to the meeting, come in the room and hear it for yourself, and then you could talk to me after that.
Fair.
Get in the mix, dog. Don't just call me, don't waste my time. You feel me? Because I don't know what exactly you're trying to do. I don't just talk for nothing.
Yeah.
It's good to be able to keep folks informed, but just to be able to tell you something, you ain't gonna do nothing with that information. I wasted my time.
Yeah.
So I tell folks, meet me in Montgomery. Oh, you ain't never been to the State House? Come on, we gonna go together.
I honestly would love to do that. Because as I'm growing as a business owner, and as a person, I love to know everything, to be honest. And I see myself getting involved in some form or fashion with legislature and being more involved in the community. So I have to know these things. I have to be aware. I have to make myself and my face known to those people. So I would love that opportunity at some point or another, ride with you, or I'll meet you there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Pull up, man.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome back to another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle. I told y'all that was that pre-interview conversation right there. Hey, man, we got a very, very special guest in the building. As you just heard, this gentleman here has a wealth of knowledge for the marijuana industry, and more specifically the medical marijuana industry here in Alabama. Antoine Mordican is my dog. Mordican, right? Mordican. I said Mordican like Rick and like regular show. Mordican. This is my guy for real. I'm not gonna lie. We've recently met, and I definitely feel like I found a brother in him. And that's more than enough of a reason to have him here, to be real with y'all. Y'all in for a special interview today. My dog Twan.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the invitation.
No problem, man. I knew from the first 3.5 minutes of our conversation, I was like, yo, we best friends. That's my dog right there.
Where this guy been at, man?
I was like, I swear, I said that to Megan later on, and I was like, yo, where the fuck Twan been at? I done hung out with you 8 times. Where the fuck this nigga
Twan
been?
like a unicorn, man. I be there, then I don't.
Yeah, and that's how you was. Nigga was next to me and was gone. Nigga got his food, did the go plate, and disappeared. All right, y'all, I'm gone. I was like, all right, with that guy, that's Bruce Wayne right there. That's Birmingham Bruce Wayne. But you are the owner of Native Black Cultivation, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the humble beginnings. I kind of want to get it all, man. Just go for it. Give me your origin story on it.
All right, man. So Native Black Cultivation, we are the first black owned and operated medical cannabis cultivation company here in the state of Alabama. My story on the cannabis side, I've been studying cannabis for going on 15 years now, which is crazy.
That's insane.
I've been preparing for this well over a decade. So I'm originally from the west side of Chicago. I came down to Alabama 2009, attended Alabama A&M University, got my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering while I was there. But at that time, while I was at A&M, I just did my freshman year. I did a research paper on cannabis. And, coming from, the city, You know, you see a lot of the war on drugs and all this other kind of stuff, gateway drug, all this other
All
crazy
that
stuff
shit.
that you hear, which it wasn't. It was all a lie. But once I did all that research on to learn that this cannabis plant can be used for so much more, it's so valuable. It can be used as feed. It can be used for fuel. It can be used as energy. It can be used as clothing. It can be used as medicine. This plant has so many benefits, but you know, we tend to focus on the combustion and the consumption of it. But if we remove the combustion and consumption of it, this is a very valuable plant. And I just went down 10-year hole rabbit hole of just research.
Yeah.
Of research, and then I just started paying attention to what was going on in the nation. So in 2018, the Farm Bill got signed. So that's when I started to look at, you know, strategically preparing on how I can be able to get into the space in the industry, because I felt like, you know, those that's growing hemp, they'll probably be the first one to be able to get dibs on when it goes medical. And my goal was really just to get the license to grow hemp. I ain't really want to like cultivate and stuff like that. So I went through a few different avenues to try to get that done. I was really just trying to, you know, find a good buddy that had some land. Like, bro, let me lease about an acre from you, saying I'll be growing here so I can get the license. But none of that happened. So, you know, the Lord told me I needed to own my own. So in 2020, when COVID happened, that's when I got serious with it. I got real serious. COVID was a very interesting time, you know. And at that point, I was dealing with a lot of, let's say, frustration and depression, you know, with my current job at the time. Like I felt like I wasn't being valued at the asset that I really was to the company, you know, and they wasn't giving me the opportunities. Like, I don't know nobody that has interviewed for a job internally with the company get denied with dead end feedback.
Oh,
like
that's crazy.
I thrive off of constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Cause that's how I know if I'm getting better. Now, if you telling me I'm just great, but you chose to go in another direction, like, bro, what we talking about?
Yeah.
So after like that 7 denial, like I was probably in my most unhealthy, you know, mental state, and that's when I just started to reflect. You know, got in that word, you know, got in that gym,
Yes, sir.
going even harder, and you know, had a conversation with my wife like, yo, you know, we about to do something different. And she was with me. So I ended up buying 10 acres.
Nigga said, I need an acre to grow on, but I went and bought 10.
Hey, man, even how I found out that was a blessing. Like, I had another piece of property that was perfect, but they had like some title issues and everything with it. So I ended up walking away from that deal. And then I ended up finding this other property before it even hit the market.
Yeah.
Me and my homie Jerome, I was actually just with him last night. I asked him to ride out there with me. Man, we out there in, you know, sticks, man. I'm like, as I tell folks, I was out there with Trump folks. And, you know, you see this young, my neighbor now, who's actually my COO now and my part owning Native Black Cultivation. He saw me and Jerome out there walking this dirt road. He like, man, who are these black dudes on the road? So when I told him I was out there looking at the land and everything, he was actually trying to sell his mother's land. We share the same road. She think he had like 30-some acres up there that he was trying to sell. And I told him, like, man, this right here is perfect for what I need it for. It's perfectly square, 10 acres. It already got water right at the road. It already got power out here. Like, you know, with me being an engineer, I kind of already knew a lot of the necessities and utilities that's going to be required to be able to develop some land.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going into it green, so I can look at a land and tell you if it's worth it or not. And I just I'm like, man, just give me about another year or two, man. I'm gonna come back and get them 30 acres. So I end up grabbing the 10 acres, man, and just set up shop, man. You know, I became a farmer. That's when I started my first business, Native Black Enterprise, where we've been cultivating hemp for the purpose of smokable CBD flower.
Yeah.
So I've been growing, you know, officially since 2020.
So is that smokable flower available in Birmingham in different places?
It was.
Okay.
It was. I used to sell to the local CBD shops.
Okay.
And that's just kind of how we got it off. And I appreciate actually going through the hemp program and actually growing, because I built a very valuable relationship with the Alabama Department of Agriculture.
I imagine so. Okay.
Because they was regulating me, and you know, the lady that was running it, shout out to you, Gail. I'm extremely thankful for you. She didn't play no games. she didn't play no games. I bought the land. I was trying to get the license and everything. She like, all right, where you building at? I got it ordered. It ain't up yet. So she's like, all right, send me that receipt. Give me a date when you're going to have it up. And then we're going to come back out there. If everything's cool, you keep moving forward.
Okay, quick question. What's the difference between CBD and actual marijuana?
So CBD, it's all about the cannabinoid profile that's in the plant.
Okay.
So CBD is one of those cannabinoids that's in the plant. Then you get your THC, then you get your CBG, and then you get it's like 200 of them joints in the plant.
Okay.
But we tend to focus on THC. Now CBD is a more therapeutic cannabinoid. It helps deal with like inflammation and things like that. And I learned a lot about that at the same time when I was growing hemp. Like CBD can be used for a lot. Like my wife experienced terrible menstrual cycle pains and stuff like that. And nothing that she used to work for. I'm like, man, try some of that hemp. Man, that hemp dull all right out. And she's been a fan of it ever since. Even though I was growing it, she wasn't she don't consume or nothing like that, but she was willing to try it. And when she saw that it worked for her, then I ended up doing some more research on it and learned that Queen Elizabeth was using hemp for the same exact reasons and stuff like that. I'm like, yo, why
are we making this illegal?
Why? That's all I ask is why. So that's kind of the difference in it. THC gives you more psychedelic, effect to it. So it just depends on it. So the real difference in it is just the genetics of the plant.
Okay. I've always been under the impression that CBD is THC right before it matures. That's what I've always been told.
No, so CBD is always going to have a trace of THC. Either if it's high in CBD, it's going to be low in THC.
Okay.
That's typically how it goes. But the higher that CBD goes, that THC going to creep up there as well. So, for it to be legal hemp, it can't be more than 0.3 THC.
Okay.
Now, depending on which state we talking about, some look at the total THC profile, which Alabama was one of them states. Some states will look at just like at the THC, and they won't count like THCA. Now that's a whole other game. I ain't gonna give up folks sauce and everything. Like that.
Yeah,
but that's a whole different another way you can go about it. But when they creep up past that 0.3, it's considered as marijuana.
Okay,
and that's when it's considered as weed. So at that point, it's considered as a hot crop.
Okay.
And if I was to produce something like that here in the state of Alabama, they're gonna come burn my shit.
Wow.
And I have, thank the Lord, the Lord is so good and graceful.
All the
I have
time.
not experienced that.
Yeah.
I have came close. Like after the state ran their test,
Yeah.
it was like 0.297.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was close. It was very close.
Is there anything you can do to prevent that, or is just how the plant grows?
Stress in the plant out produces it helps it produce high THC. So, for example, like I grow in a greenhouse, everything is covered, so it's kind of in the outdoor environments, but it's slightly protected.
Yeah, it's controlled.
So it's not being pounded on by the rain.
Yeah.
It's not being ate by insects. It's not deers coming out, feeding on it and stuff like that. So it's not acceptable to those levels of stress. So it's kind of in an ideal environment where she's able to be as beautiful as she can be.
Okay.
And once you start stressing her out, her THC levels get high and she'll go hot on you.
That's so cool though.
Then it's a wrap, dog, after that.
Really? Okay. Dang. That's so interesting. That's so freaking interesting.
Yeah, man. A lot of folks don't know that like the plant that we consume is the female plant. That's why
I knew that.
That's why I got all the lady names and everything.
Yeah.
And then depending on what you're trying to do, if you're trying to, create some new genetics, trying to do some crossbreeding, of course you got to introduce the male and stuff like that. But if that female never come in contact with a male plant, she gonna focus on producing buds. Now if she get pollinated, she gonna produce buds, but it'll be low grade bud, and she'll be produce seeds as well.
Huh. So 9 times out of 10, when you've gotten a pack with seeds, and it's probably a bad bud in the first place.
Yeah, and sometimes she'll still produce seeds without being pollinated. You may get
Really?
Yeah, I done had a few packs that may have like a seed or two in it, and I know she ain't came in contact with no male, but that's just the natural. That's what women do. They produce
That part. And could you take that same seed and yield a plant that is just successful, even though if it technically is a bad seed?
Not necessarily, because the genetic may not be as stable after that, it takes a few years for it to really get stable. So I mean, a few generations of it before it become a stable. But if it's the same genetic and you're not crossing it with anything, you should be fine.
Interesting. And how do you know the difference between a male and female plant?
All right. So I've been doing it for quite some time, so I can just about eyeball a seed.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
I can eyeball a seed, and it's just something about the female, yo. She just is feminine. She's not as rough and edgy as the male plant. She'll have a perfect little swirl on the eye of the seed, but you're really able to tell the genetic, the sex once they start maturing, once you start growing. So they'll start showing their sex about like week 3 of veg. So the male plants, they'll produce sacs. Their whole life is to bust. That's all they do. They bust and they pollinate. And the female plant, they'll produce little white hairs. We call them pistons. And that's how you know you got your female plant.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
And those pistons, what those genetics or genitalia parts or what, I don't know what you're gonna call them on the plant, but that's where the bud and everything is produced at from that point. So it starts at that point. So when you see them white hairs, the white hairs eventually grow out to the bud, and then the white hairs end up burning. They'll once they reach maturity, they'll turn brown. That's when you get the brown.
Oh,
and everything.
Wow.
In your buds and everything.
Yeah.
And that's when it's mature.
I'm learning so much right now. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you got the weed guy, man.
I know. And it's like, I don't know why I haven't just called you. It's probably because I was waiting for this episode to learn all of this. And then now I'm going to call you all the time. Like, all right, to another question. Okay, so you started with the hemp and then you were making your way to doing THC from that point?
Yeah, my whole goal was to be in a position that I'm in now.
Okay.
So me getting into the hemp space was me getting in preparation to be able to get into the medical space. Because I knew the state of Alabama, they was introducing the medical cannabis bill for like 4 years.
Yeah.
And it kept, not making it all the way through the body.
So one day it's coming, what you thought.
So in 2021, this lady, she gave me a call like, yeah, I think you should come and speak at the Alabama Health Committee, about, supporting medical cannabis. She ended up finding out I was in the space and what I was trying to do. And I ain't really know what value I can really add to that conversation. And then at the same time, I was working for a very conservative company. I ain't want my name and face out though.
Yeah.
So I just kind of, play in the background. I just really wanted to be the guy behind the scenes and, by the program, which a lot of folks try to do. But I prayed about it. I talked to my wife about it. I prayed, and the next day, the Lord laid something on me to go speak. So I hit up like, yeah, go ahead and put me on the list. So when I went down to the State House, which this is all documented, like I got all this content, bro. Like me speaking me speaking in front of the Alabama Health Committee to support the program that we have. And that day, I think it was 3 of us that was there that was pro cannabis, medical cannabis, and it was like 6 that was against it. And these folks that was speaking against it, they mind has been tainted with the propaganda of cannabis throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
So these are, all right, let me set the dynamics of the room up for you. We at the State House. I am the only black individual there to speak about this topic. Anybody else black in that room either works for the state. So, and you ain't been to the State House yet. The energy is present in the State House. Like whatever historic energy is in this building, it exists, and you feel it. So with me just being a young black man in that room, and then I'm going to speak behind all these Caucasian women's, older women. One lady get up there speak about how it's not enough research on it. I'm like, come on, we can't say that anymore.
Yeah.
We just simply can't say that. And then we got another, but her husband was also a physician as well too. So
because he know everything.
Yeah, he don't. And then I had to speak behind another woman that said cannabis killed her baby. And now in the midst of me hearing all these testimonies, it was tough for me to change. It was tough for me not to change what I came in there to say. And she was saying cannabis killed her baby. Her daughter ended up dying in a car accident, and the driver happened to have cannabis in his system. Now, we all know cannabis stay in your system for at least a month.
Yeah.
So you can't say this man was high at the time. Like you can't say that, but a life was lost. So I didn't get up there and speak against that. But then we had a good friend of mine. Her name is Melissa Mullins. We still work together. And she was up there speaking for the patients, and she was speaking directly about folks that deal with autism and things like that, and how it can be beneficial for them. And when I got the opportunity to speak, I got up there to speak about making sure that this program is Alabama focused.
Yeah.
At that point, I was already kind of well versed in the cannabis space and industry. I already knew what was going on around the nation and other states. I'm like, yo, make sure y'all focus and make sure that Alabama benefits from this program. Make sure that the ownership is Alabamians, and make sure that y'all stick true. I knew that legislation called out for 25% of them licensed to go to minority-owned and operated companies. But I also knew that they need to make sure that that commission was diverse. So after I spoke at the Alabama Health Committee, I had two decisions that I needed to make. It was either that I was gonna serve on the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission as a commissioner and help with the regulations and the rollout of this program, which I had no problem with doing that because I can make sure that it rolled out properly.
Yeah.
I'll be a part of that, which I was ultimately denied by Governor Kay Irie. Still love you.
Shout out to you.
But she denied my application to be able to serve on the commission. And at that point, I just took the position of ownership. I was already in position. I already owned the land. I already had the experience. I already had the knowledge. And I already did a lot of preparation, to be able to, for the application. Now, I didn't know, at that point, I didn't know exactly what the application was going to entail. But from my experience in other states, I knew just certain things that I was going to have. Now, Alabama application and license process was probably one of the most strictest process in the nation. And I got it all together. I did the application myself. I compiled everything myself. I already had my engineering plans and everything done. I already had my layout. I already had my equipment and material that I was going to use because I was already connected in the industry. So I was already connected with a lot of the vendors and things like that. And I just positioned myself as such to be able to do so. I had ended up finding me an investor that was going to back me. He was putting up $5 million.
Damn.
Which it requires that, bro. It requires that. Like a lot of these other cultivators, they done spent $3 to $5 million on they build out already. And we ain't able to make no money yet. But that's another conversation. But however, I ended up losing that investor because this program took too long.
Wow.
I lost that investor. And as things continue, like, man, I lost a lot of people on the road. Like my attorney at the time, I ain't gonna say her name, but she left me out there for dead. She wasn't even answering my phone calls no more. And I can't wait till I see you because we gonna talk, dog. We gonna talk. Because I definitely felt the way being kind of left out there stranded like that. But, I still had a good relationship with folks in the industry that still made sure that I was straight. I ended up connected with some good folks. So ultimately, I was denied the license twice and then finally got awarded the third time.
Was there reasoning behind being denied? Because I know you hate that.
What state we in?
Okay. Fair enough.
What state we in, man?
Yeah.
So they was dinging me on a technicality. So at the time when I applied for the license, I owned 99% of my company. But I got two other owners with me, and they had a half a percentage each. And like I said, the requirements to get into Alabama, you have to have 15 years of consecutive residency. At that time, I only had 14 years.
Nah.
I had and I had the majority stake, but my company was 100% Alabama owned.
Yeah.
And they didn't look at my other. They didn't look at my other owners to be able to complete that. So I came up. This is me. They never told me what was the problem.
Yeah.
They never told me what was the problem.
Yeah.
And that grinds my gears. So I pretty much told them what the problem was. And what's funny, when I officially asked them for a reason on why I was denied, they just sent me my email back. They like, it seemed like
you know.
Yeah, you already knew. So I ended up having to give up 50% of my company to my co-owners so that we can be able to satisfy and meet that criteria. Which it wasn't terrible, I ain't have to bring on no new folks.
Yeah.
Like I said, I ended up losing my investor. But I'm a unique individual.
Yeah.
I was already preparing myself to have, if all else fails, I still be able to put this on my back and make it happen.
Yeah.
If all else fails. And that's kind of still the position that I'm in now. I ain't got no crazy money and backers behind me. Like, I'm still self-funded. I got a couple small investors that done came on to help me out. But overall, I ain't got as much money as my peers, you know. But I probably got more weed than them though. But nah, we
Still got that pack though.
yeah, we growing good quality products, man, and just kind of how I went about it is kind of unique in itself as well, because other folks in the state ain't kind of doing it that way. You know, like I tell folks, if you know the basics to be able to grow cannabis, you don't need all the bells and whistles.
Yeah.
You get all the bells and whistles when you feel, you know, you that guy. You know, you coming down, you feel me. You know, you got all the enhancements and everything on them. But if you don't know what to do with them enhancements, you ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
Because you can't produce. So a lot of that stuff was not necessarily needed. And
Like what?
So like to be able to grow indoor, it requires a lot. It requires a lot in
Power, especially.
And power and water is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And
that's why you said that when you say you seen the land, you seen there was water coming from the street and there was power running out there already.
There's power out there already.
I'm here.
But however, the reliability of that power is very important. If you're growing indoors and let's say you got backup generators, let's say you don't have backup generators. Because if it was me, I wouldn't have had backup generators because it costs. It costs a lot of money. So, like, for example, my farm experienced a lot of power outages. Like, I know for sure I am on Alabama Power's worst performing feeder. I know I'm on the list because every time the wind blows, my power go out.
Yeah.
But however, I'm not using LED lights. I'm not completely enclosed, so I'm able to rely on the natural environment, you know, the environment to be able to provide what I need. But if I'm growing indoors, I lose power. You lose your HVAC system. You can't control the temperature. You can't control the humidity. You lose your LED lights. Now you done mess up your photosynthesis periods in your plants. You lose your fans. Now you ain't got no airflow in there.
Dang.
Your plant is gonna die within a couple hours in those conditions. And even if they do make it, your yields is gonna be suffered once everything returns. So if you don't have that power reliability and that power redundancy,
yeah,
you kind of jagging your money off.
So essentially, power go out in the middle of the night. If you don't have a Jenny, you're going to lose your whole crop by the time you get there tomorrow to try to fix it.
Yep. And
That's
if you ain't got
insane.
systems in place to be able to immediately kick on, you know, and to be able to notice that the power and everything went out, yeah, you in a bad spot. And like I said, a lot of that costs a lot of money.
Yeah. Dang. I imagine that at the beginning it had to be a headache. But I also can imagine it's the headache that you couldn't wait to sign up for.
I ain't think the headache was gonna last this long though. You know, migraine. You know, I ain't think it was gonna be this long. But you know, I'm thankful for everything that I've been through, to even get to this point. Because my goal when I was my plan was to build a 15,000 square foot facility out there on the 10 acres that I have. I had 2 acres set aside, you know, specifically for this project. And, you know, just for my complete build out for that 15,000 square feet, at that time, it was going to be like $3.5 million. And since that, you know, since a lot done happened since then, I done had to pivot, you know, I done had to, you know, improvise and do different things. So like I had a temporary solution in place because the state give us cultivators 60 days to get, everything in place to be able to cultivate medical cannabis. So that's fencing, that's security, that's infrastructure, that's grow material, that's lights, that's everything. You got to have that in place in 60 days. I don't know nobody that can build a building that fast. Even with me doing all the work, I already had the engineering plans done. I didn't have my MEPs finalized, which is your mechanical, electrical, and plumbing plans. I didn't have that finalized. I had already did my geotechnical reports and everything. That's $5,000 that, you feel me, just to tell you the conditions of your soil out there before you start building, because the civil engineer need that information. Then you got to get the building out there. You got to get folks out there, labor and everything. So it's going to take time to be able to get that building erecting up, then to get the power and everything extended. Because I really, right now, I'm using single phase power, which I really need 3-phase power, because when you running them type of motors and you running that HVAC system,
it's extra. You need all the extra.
You need that extra power, and you want it to be on 3-phase and hopefully 277 for 80 volts. Now this is the nerdy engineering me coming out, because you don't use as many amps, so you're able to kind of withstand it a little longer. Then you're not using as much power as well too. You can be a little bit more efficient in that.
Yeah.
But that was a lot of stuff that I was gonna have to do to be able to get that up and running. But I had a short-term solution in place. I already had infrastructure I was growing on the hemp side. I was building a little small 1,000 square foot building out there to get everything up and running. But even going with the temporary solution that I thought was quick, I still ran into problems with that. Like I got a building out there that still is incomplete. I focus all my energy on my greenhouse because I ran into an issue with Jefferson County Electrical 2 weeks before my inspection, and I called the inspector. I called the commission. I let them know what my situation was. I'm like, man, Jefferson County just rejected my electrical plans. I'm really growing a little small building. I wasn't even gonna have plumbing or anything, and they were trying to treat that joint like a Walmart. So it was all this other stuff that I was gonna have to do, and I don't really know, man. These just the battles that come up. But with that happening, I called the commission. I'm talking to them. I'm like, yo, what's my options? They're like, well, Twan, we don't know. I got to go talk with the council. I got to go talk with the current attorneys and see what's up. Call that man back the next day. Don't even worry about it. I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to figure it out. And
Yeah.
that was really the Lord making me refocus on what I already had in place, and making me use what I already had in place. Which was a blessing, which was a big blessing, because that's still the infrastructure we're using today.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even looking at doing the 15,000 square foot building no more. Like I'm about to redo everything out there. I'm gonna stay in the hybrid space until we able to get smokable flower in Alabama. I don't see no need for no indoor grow.
Yeah.
Well, no completely.
No
enclosed.
complete indoor grow.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense too. Because you invest this money into this business, and we know Alabama love to pull the rug from under a whole situation just because. So I can understand that being an amazing strategic move not to do that. I have another question. So what makes strands different from one another?
It's just the cannabinoid profile, the terpene profiles.
I know about the terps.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. A lot of folks be kind of like, man, the terps is where is that? Like folks go chase like high THC and things like that. Like, yo, if you chasing anything that's over, I'll say 30% THC.
Yeah.
Anything higher than that, dog, let's sit down. Let's talk.
That's crack, sir.
Yeah. What you got going on? What you dealing with? You feel me? Because that is something that it don't make sense. That's gonna make you out of it. Something like, well, that's what I need. Like, nah, you want to be able to still be functional.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a couch potato. You don't want to be out here not knowing what's going on. Now, if you chase something with a high terpene profile, like a 2-3% terpene profile, which will give you the entourage effect and that how everything works together, that'll be a more enjoyable medicinal use.
Yeah.
Or euphoric effect to it, however you want to describe it. So the terpenes is what it's like when you smell something, like you smell some food, that smell good.
Yeah.
You feel me? Then you go eat it. Oh man, you feel me? That's kind of how it goes.
Okay.
But you get something that just high THC, it may smell a little decent, but when you smoke it, it's like it hits, and when it finally starts selling in, which you got all that high THC, running through you, it's like, all right, I don't want to do too much. I'm gonna just sit here.
I'm chilling.
I can't even go work. Some folks, may consume to get creative. Some folks may, smoke to get focused. Like, it's certain strands out there that will help you get focused. That's why Blue Dream was real popular at one time on the West Coast. And what's that San Francisco where they do Silicon Valley and all that.
Yeah.
All them folks out there killing that Blue Dream, man. That
Blue Dream and lean.
Yeah, that was the strand that a lot of folks was enjoying, but it all depends on the effect that you're trying to get. So that was really, separates in the telltale and the different genetics and stuff like that. So it's certain profiles, certain cannabinoids that you're trying to target, certain structures, certain looks, certain, just everything. You can kind of dial it down.
Yeah. Do you have your own personal strand?
I don't.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay. I'm kind of surprised you don't.
I probably won't need it. I probably all right, I'll say maybe in the next 5 years I may start playing around with some stuff.
Yeah.
But that's after me, I got very good relationships with breeders around the nation, you know, that'll send me a clipping of some fire. You feel me? Of some exclusive that I know nobody else can get their hands on.
Man, I met the right guy.
Of some fire, you feel me? So, you know, there's no need for me to be out here, because to be able to create a genetic, it's gonna take some time. You know, like I said, you can crossbreed a few things, and them seeds that may end up being produced, they not stable. So you're not going to get any consistency from those seeds until you get down to like maybe the 4th generation. That's 4 grows to be able to get to that one. So once you finally get to that one, you might finally have you some, but you at least about a year, 2 year in before you able to get a, you know.
How long does a seed typically take to yield?
6 to 8 months.
I told my dad, he had them seeds in that refrigerator for like 4 or 5 days. He's like, they germinate, they going outside, and we're gonna have some weed in about 2 weeks. I said, that's gonna be me. That's gonna be me.
Well, you're gonna have a stem.
Like, Pop, there's gonna be some me, man.
you ain't gonna have no flower on that joint. Yeah, that plant still gonna be in veg.
That part. Then you gotta let it dry once it come off, right? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I be knowing. I don't grow nothing, but you know what I'm saying? I might know a little something. No, I lived in Washington, D.C. In 2016. And marijuana was legal to consume, but it was illegal to sell. Which I think is crazy. Yeah. But you can gift it, yeah.
Yeah, you buy a shirt, I'll throw you this ounce of weed
yes,
with it.
bro. That was the coolest shit, though. It was dumb, but like going into a certain store, I'm like, man, I'm here to get a t-shirt. It's like, all right, bet. How many of them t-shirts you got? I got 12 of these at the house. And
I really love these shirts.
I love this shirt. But the place around the corner from my crib, they got wires. The owner at first, they were selling like t-shirts from different brands and this, that, and the third. And one day I went in there to pick up, and I was like, bro, let me get a coffee mug. You know what I'm saying? Because the coffee mug was the 3.5. And then I was like, man, y'all need to start selling just plain old white teas, bro, like a gas station. And that nigga looked at me. Just did like that. Next time I went in there, white tees everywhere, man. I was like, man.
Cut them right on out, man.
Yeah, let me get 3 white tees, doggy.
Hey, yeah, I know that'll move in the hood, boy. We used to stay with them white tees on.
Yes, sir.
When we was in the long t-shirt era.
Yes, indeed. The white tee is a staple in the closet. If you really know how to dress, you got at least 3 or 4 good white tees to just throw on. But yeah, man, the cannabis consumption in DC was so weird. But it was one thing that I really had to get off my bucket list. I wanted to smoke a blunt in front of the White House. So me and my boys, middle of the night, just walked there. We fired up a fat old backwood in front of the White House.
That's a different experience.
It was.
That is a different experience.
It was. I felt like I made it in life.
Man, so I was actually I was out in D.C. Last year. It was actually my second time being in D.C. My first time going to D.C. when I went for the Million Man March. I think that was 2015 when I went, and then I went last year for the National Cannabis Festival. I was actually out there lobbying as well too with the organization Minority Cannabis Business Association that I serve on the board for, and I was connecting with my representatives, my legislators, so just walking that. Then we had an event right in front of the White House with the Last Prisoners Project, where they're trying to actively get folks out of prison that have cannabis charges.
That's amazing.
In a nation where we selling cannabis now,
Yeah.
and y'all got folks in here that was phenomenal people, phenomenal business folks for selling this same crop that just don't make sense.
It don't make sense.
But while we was out there, I had to end up taking a couple pulls, right out there in front of the White House. And I'm like, yo,
it's kind of wild.
This shit is different.
Yeah.
And I gotta take my raggedy ass back to Alabama.
That part. When I moved back, I was like, bro, now I gotta go smoke in the car.
I gotta take my raggedy ass back to Alabama,
Man, DC is different, man. DC is very. How long were you there?
About 4 days.
Okay, you got to explore a little bit.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah. You ever been to DC? Okay. It's a life-changing experience, in my opinion.
Definitely worth going. I didn't know it was called the Chocolate City until my
Yes,
second
sir.
time going.
Yes, sir.
I said, all right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir. And it's so I was living there. It was kind of crazy, pivotal. I was living there when Trump got elected the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the inauguration because I wanted to see Obama. I had never seen Obama in person. So I was like, if I go to an inauguration, he got to leave because that's a part of the transfer of power. I'm going to see Obama. But the same day, they were having a protest for cannabis, right? And they were having it about, I think it was about smoking in public places, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never forget this. They were out there protesting and saying Jesus got stoned too, right? They was handing out flyers. Jesus got stoned too. Jesus got stoned too. And if you actually opened your flyer and look at it, it was a joint in there. And like me and my boys were walking together, and all of us got handed one. And so my boy Cole, he threw his on the ground. He was like, "What I'm gonna do with that, bro? Like, I'm tossed it in the trash." He tossed it in the trash, and I'm like, "I don't know, bro. It's kind of fire." I opened it, it's a joint. And we all ran back to the trash can.
Let me go get that.
Hey, we pulled out like 6 of them out of there, and they all had joints. I was like, "Whoa, we just got right."
Next level.
That was love, man. That was love. But rolling it back to weak ass Alabama though. How long do you think before we're able to do something like that where we can consume in public?
It's gonna take an initiative of the people.
Okay.
And that's something that I'm trying to encourage, and inspire folks to do, to be more involved in the legislative process, because it's going to require legislative change. Like I got this saying, don't nothing change unless legislation change. So I don't care how much folks come out here and, do some things that they pro whatever, or they trying to support X, Y community. Yo, if it ain't in black and white in that law book, that shit ain't real.
Yeah. Point blank period.
Point blank, because no matter, you can feel this way today, and what they do, they feel a different way tomorrow.
Exactly.
Now we just look at them. Oh, well, we did all this. We done supported them. We done gave them all this bread. Like, bro, you should have told them that they need to be at the state house making some shit change, versus just going in there saying that they got a black session for you, DEI, all this other kind of stuff, and they can immediately pull that back and not support it. Mm-hmm. So it's like you ain't got nothing real unless it's in black and white. Like, it's so much stuff that still goes on. Like, folk, the state still votes to allow for us to vote. That is a renewal vote. Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. If they decide on that year when it's up for vote that they don't want, we done.
I didn't know that.
We are done, and that's why I be on people's ass about going to vote.
Right here. I stay on people's head about that. It bothers me so much when people be like, "Oh yeah, I don't vote because
I don't support this."
Either I don't support it don't affect me. No, you moron. It does in every form and fashion. You're just too stupid to learn about it for a little while, and it bothers me.
They purposely make it boring.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't never read so many bills in my life, and it is boring.
It's boring.
But it is important information.
Yes. Yes. And you know what? I think I'm gonna make that like something I do on my Instagram story from now. Is just give people the footnotes of stuff, because maybe that'll help.
Man, it's a website that do it. I think it's like legislative sign or signal or something like that. It'll give you a summary of the bill, and then it'll have the actual bill up there. Even every bill has a summary section. Yeah, that tell folks about it, but nobody's going to look for that.
Nobody's gonna go look for it, and it's so sad because as time goes on, especially with this recent presidential election, it should show you more than any that your vote does matter.
Absolutely.
And you should get out there and stay informed. Just like I was explaining one of my homeboys the big beautiful bill, right? And explaining to him that like the part about Medicaid, he was like, "I don't even have Medicaid, nigga. I don't give a fuck if they take Medicaid." And I was like,
people do though.
Thank you. And then I was like, let me help. Let's paint a scenario, okay? And you just hear me out. I was like, let's just say there's a hospital out in Paris, Alabama. We all know that's the middle of nowhere, Paris, Alabama, right? And they are making 88% of their money on Medicaid. If you get rid of Medicaid, they have to close their doors, right?
Now them folks have no.
Exactly. Where you think all them people from Paris finna go? They finna show up in your emergency room, your doctor's office. They taking your primary physicians, okay? Let's just say that happens, and now the closest hospital to you, you have a slip and fall one day, crack the back of their head, you bleeding all over the place. You drive to the hospital. You can't get seen for 6, 7, 8 hours because there's so many people here. You're affected by this. And when I explained this to cuz, this nigga said, "Dang, cuz, I got to make sure to wear a helmet." Not learn, not figure it out. I need to wear a helmet.
Yeah, because you're retarded, boy.
Yes, yes.
No, my bad, y'all. My bad.
You're dumb. You're dumb.
No, cut that one.
I got you. You're a fool. And it's like, exactly what you said, man. I am a fan of getting people to understand how much they need to vote, bro. I'm so big on
it's,
that.
it's very important, man. With all the work that I've been doing lately, and like me being at the state house so much, like you know, I walk them halls. You know, the representatives, our senators, our House representatives, they are everyday people. They put on their pants just like we do. You know, they don't get to check out everything. Like, so certain things they just may not be aware of, but they got so much stuff going on. It can be, you know, John's bill. John bill may be BS, but he cool with John. So you're like, man, John, you got this bill going on. I'm going to support yours. I got this bill over here. Just support mine. And they may not even get into the meat and bones of what the bill and how it affects their constituents. Now, as a constituent, you know, you can reach out to that representative.
Yes, you can.
And you can let them know how you feel about it and ask them how they going to know, or you can tell them how you want them to act on that bill. And I didn't know it only takes 15 people to reach out to their legislator, and they have to respond.
Yeah, they have to revise something. Something has to be done accordance to what those 15 calls were about.
And that's another problem with my folks.
Mm-hmm.
For one, you ain't voting.
Mm-hmm.
So some people only vote in the federal election and miss the local election.
Mm-hmm.
The local is really where it's at.
Come on.
Federal is cool and all. You know, you may get a few representatives at the federal level, but at that local level, you voting for the entire body of Congress for your state.
Yep.
These are the people that's going to affect your everyday life. They have the power. The stroke of a pen can change your life at a local level. You have to make sure you're putting the right people in place and power for that. I don't like that folks have blind loyalty to
a party,
any political party.
Yes, sir.
I really don't like that Alabama allow for you just do a straight vote. You fill in one bubble.
Man, I think that's crazy.
It is
Every time I
insane.
go vote, I think that's so crazy to me. Like, you ain't even trying. Okay, go ahead.
And then I also have a problem with it as well too. If I'm a Democrat, I can't see any of the Republican candidates, and I fool with both sides. You know, like I said, honestly, I don't have no loyalty to no party.
None.
You know, and I'm still trying to decide on how I want to play that, because I plan on potentially running for office one day.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm trying to.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
I'm trying to strategically. I don't want to win, but I just might. I don't, but I want to push forward some ideas. You know, that may be, you know,
thought provoking.
Yeah, thought provoking, a little bit of inspiration. And if I end up losing and falling out, maybe the candidate that's going to continue to proceed, he may see how good or whatever, and you know, continue to run with it. But most importantly, just getting folks involved, dog. Like some people, I'm like, well, if I run for office, would you show up, bro? I'll beat up. All right, man. Once I drop my little campaign ad, boy, you better be there.
And you better be right here first for the campaign interview. Man, I got you.
Better be
every
there,
time.
Yeah, I got to get my money right first. Yeah, I got to wait till I get that. I want that FU money, because I don't plan on compromising my moral compass for $1. Which I haven't done it now, but I know once you become what they call them, a career politician.
Mm-hmm.
That's your livelihood. That's how you make your bread and butter. So you gonna shake a little bit to be able to get a little extra dollar. You gonna dance a little bit to be able to get it.
You gonna show some tail.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to be in that position. You know, I want to be on the side of, you know, I want to stand, you know, for the people. You know, I want to stand for my constituents. You know, I want to be able to support something I feel like that'll be life changing to the people, especially those that's out here going for, like, man, like, cannabis is such a phenomenal plant. Like, man, I get love from all across Alabama when it comes down to this plant. Like, I still get some ignorant folks.
Come on.
But that's just 'cause I'm a young black man.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, he just out here growing pot. Like, where he come from? Like, bro, check my resume, dog. You know, ask your buddy about me.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I get love from all parts of Alabama. You know, as far right as Trump folks. You know, and it's as liberal as, you know, left you can go. But in between that, we all love cannabis.
Yes, sir.
Man, bro, it is so many people in Alabama that consume.
Yeah.
So many. And it's the people that you don't think consume at very high levels.
Tell me, Kay have you be burning it down, don't it?
Man, she gotta be, bro. How she dealing with all this?
That's a fact.
How she dealing with all of this?
Yeah.
Man? But it's just a wonderful plant, man, and it's really unity amongst that plant. Like I haven't been in any cannabis related event and the energy was bad.
Never.
Like if it's cannabis being served or hemp or whatever at these events, it's always cool. But you throw alcohol in there, that's when the violence starts.
That's when the ignorance happens.
Yeah, that's when the egos start getting stroked.
So wait, you just said something. You said at these events they serving cannabis?
Well,
Serving?
when hemp was legal, some vendors will have like CBD. Some folks will have some pre rolls and stuff like that. So yeah,
I started doing this too late is what I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? Like as I'm learning and doing this podcast, I started too late. I should have started
yeah,
a
man.
year ago and been at these events and then be doing this kind of stuff, man.
Yeah, my
Dang.
homie Jennifer Boozer, she out there in Mobile, Canabama. She actually just had to close
That's a
her
fire
shop.
name.
She got a radio show out there as well too in Mobile. But she recently had to close her shop due to that bill. But she hosted an event every 420 out there in Mobile.
Really?
That was cannabis friendly, downtown Mobile. I think she did it for 3 years.
Dang. Got a clothes shop.
Yep.
That's so unfortunate that so many business owners really had to either make a pivot or close shop like that because of
Yeah.
that bill.
Man, I got about at least six folks that done had to close their doors that's close to me in this space.
What's the pivot like after that too? Because like you can't like get in a different part of the industry really.
What they did with this bill, they really gave it over to big alcohol, and that's kind of what they were trying to do with the medical cannabis as well too. It's big players in there now. Don't get me wrong. I happen to be that little cool guy at the bottom of that totem pole, but I'm just a unique individual in that space. They can't do what I do. They can't enter certain rooms that I in. And they don't really rally the support. Like people of Alabama, like they at least know my face or the brand. Like they see me see me on the news today. So they see me everywhere speaking about this, and I got no problem with saying how I feel. So people don't need to support and stand behind that, man. Like I'm as real as it's gonna get. I'm transparent on myself. I'm married, wife, kids, all that. So I'm not out here trying to. I ain't playing no games, man. I'm creating a future for my kids to be able to live and thrive in.
Yes, sir.
So it's important that I make impact here now to be able to change it better for their future.
Yes, sir. Can you speak on how important it is to lock in with your lady, and once you locking in with your lady, like how your life starts to open up?
Man, that's the most critical part, bro. You got to have a safe haven.
Yes,
and your
sir.
safe haven is normally home.
Yeah.
You got to have that peace. You got to have somewhere you can be able to unpack and unload. And you got to have somewhere you can be able to go to that support. Like, she'll hear me talk all this cannabis and weed stuff. And she'll listen to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. You good, baby,
Yep.
or whatever. But it's definitely important to lock in with your spouse. So, like, I'll say, when I took this risk to do all this, like, my kids ain't got no savings. I'm their savings. I exhaust my 401k, bought the land, exhaust my savings. Like 2020, I ain't had no respect for the U.S. dollar. I kind of
It was letting it go everywhere.
Yeah, I strategically made invest. So at that point, the value of stock and everything was going down,
Plummeting.
and holding cash just didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense to me. And at that point, like COVID was a unique time. A lot of people got a lot of money. And how I tell folks, like, bro, if you came out of COVID and you still broke, you ain't got nothing to show for it, like, you did something wrong. You did something wrong because there was a lot of opportunity. A lot of folks got a whole lot of cash to come through their hands. And I just put it into, like, startup companies, which one was me. I invested in a few other things that's position to be very lucrative for me. Very lucrative. Like, man, if one of my investments I'll speak about because I'm very proud of them, what they're doing right now, which is Boxable.
Mm-hmm.
Boxable, they manufacture tiny homes out there in Las Vegas, and they kind of like Legos. You can stack them joints up on top of each other. We got a few different concepts out there, but right now we got like a studio apartment that you can pretty much put up on your property. Got kitchen, bathroom, come with refrigerators, washer, dryers, all that good stuff. And at that point, I was recognizing what we dealing with the housing crisis now.
Yes, sir.
Can't nobody really afford to buy no house right now.
Mm-hmm.
Interest rates is crazy. To be able to just get a traditional home is tough. So everybody needs a place to stay. So I'm like, well, we have that problem, and they product was innovative to me to be able to implement here in the States. And we in the process of a merger to go public here soon. And I invested in back in 2020. I was one of the early investors, And yeah, when we go public, man, yeah, we gonna be out here having a good
I
time.
can see the flexing in your eyebrows happen. You can't wait.
Bro, I don't care where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm going to New York. I'm gonna hear that bell ring. I told my wife, man, the kids, what y'all doing? I'm about to get on this plane. I'm about to go to. I probably don't even go there with nothing. I'll probably get me a tailored Italian suit when I get in New York to hit the bell ring. But man, that one investment is gonna change my the trajectory of my family, and that'll also put me in a position where I'm still scraping for money to be able to do what I need. I'll be able to continue to fund myself. I won't need other folks' money. Like, my money's good, my credit is good, so I can get the money. I don't have to bring on no special investors. So that's the moment I'm waiting on.
Yeah.
That's the moment I'm waiting on. But I also invested in Black Sands Entertainment. It's the first black comic book publishing company, actually here in Alabama.
In Alabama, yeah.
They over in Trustville, Alabama. We actually got an anime series that's in the process of being developed that'll be on Netflix here probably about the next year or so.
Man, you guys get me in touch with them. They're my people. Hell. Yeah. Right, this nigga face. Yeah, they're my people
man,
for real.
I got all of the comic books, man. I got signed editions from the illustrators and everything, bro. Like,
oh yeah, man. We in the presence of a real one.
Yeah.
This my guy.
Yeah. My collection gonna be crazy when they finally do their thing. About the next 15, 20 years, yeah, that collection gonna be very valuable. And then, man, I invested in all type of stuff. I bought gold, which has damn near, it's gold sale at when I bought it, it was already high. It done went up since then, so that's a appreciation asset. I invested in it's called Farm to Flame. It's a generator that take farm biomass and convert it to energy.
Oh, that's fire.
So that's we need energy. Black guy put that together too, the CEO of that. So I invested in that. I invested in Curl Mix, which is they still doing their thing. I think they out here in I can't remember the stores right now. But they located in Chicago. Curl Mix for our type of texture hair. I feel like I'm missing another investment.
I feel like you told me about an app at one point. We were talking about
fan base.
Bam. Yeah.
I'm a proud investor of fan base. I'm certified, verified, and everything over there. But yeah, fan base is one of those that's coming up. And Isaac Hayes, he been doing this thing, making his rounds, and I think it's especially in this time, it's gonna have its run. It's gonna have its run, and allow for those content creators to immediately monetize on their content. Like, if I like a picture, that's a monetary value to them.
Damn, I think I went ahead and downloaded it after
I
we
hope
talked.
you did, man. Yeah,
we talked about it.
I think we should be having a new design and everything rolling out here soon, man.
Say less. We're gonna lock in, man. We're gonna lock in on that for sure. You right now.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
So I put my hands on a little bit of everything in 2020, man. And like I said, like that, and that was like a crazy weird time, dog. And I'm doing this at the same time of dealing with my mental health. My physical health was already in top shape. They used to look at me crazy now because I'm doing like 100 push-ups a day in the office.
Yes, sir.
Like every hour, I'm doing like 75 push-ups. I'm going crazy in that joint. And that was really just for me. I wanted to make sure my health and everything was in order, and just kind of dealing with all of that. But I strategically made some investments during that time, and the biggest one was me.
Yeah.
So
that's true. I kind of want to touch on the health part a little bit. I have an older cousin, and he's a strength training coach. He was a collegiate athlete. That's what his life is about, man. And I was having a conversation with him right before the podcast stuff started happening. And right when I was really, really starting my weight loss journey, I was probably at that point, like I had lost like 10, 11 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told me on the phone, he said, cuz, God, when he is preparing you for a real journey, you have to first change your mindset and your perspective on the world first, right? And that's going to begin the journey, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to start seeing the world different. He said, but then you have to learn how to prepare your body for the next part of your life, because what you have right now, you can't take that into the next phase of your life. And so he was like, you've been unhealthy your whole life. He said, you can't take unhealthy habits.
Man, he has to come at you like that.
I appreciate it. And you know what's crazy? We were having this conversation after our cousin that's literally in between us and age had just died from a heart attack and being overweight. So that's why we was having this conversation in the first place.
Real. That's real.
And so he was like, you've been unhealthy your whole life, Kerry. Take care of yourself. If you want this podcast to be what you want it to be, you got to take care of yourself first, because God not going to take you to the level with a body who can't sustain what he about to give to it.
Mm-hmm.
I done lost 71 pounds since then and just been locked in. I be at the gym. I get my ass up. I've been writing. I've been trying to take care of myself. In the past 2 weeks, man, so much has happened for us, this podcast and what we've been working on. And it done brought me to tears a couple times, because it's like the fruits of my labor are finally starting to grow.
Give thanks, man.
Man, come on, man.
The Lord always work it out.
I'm telling you. And like when I took the opportunity to do this full time, knowing that like, hey man, we ain't figured out how to make money from it. We ain't figured out how to do this, that, and the third. I was like, God wouldn't give me this opportunity to do this thing that I've been praying about if there's not something on the other side of this. So I need to lock in and change my perspective on the world. I need to change my body, lock in with my missus, make sure my kid is right. And when I'm doing those things, the rest will fall in place.
Lord take care of everything else. Lord take care of everything else. So that's definitely amazing. That's one of the reasons why I started to focus more on my health too.
Yeah.
I want to live for a long time, you know.
That part.
You know, I got a lot of kids, so
you do. Yeah.
I got a lot of kids, so I'm trying to be around for them to, you know, watch them, reach their peaks and everything, and to be that, you know, able father to still be able to be around with them. So yeah, that's definitely the most important thing. Like you said, man, you focus on the Lord, you focus on your wife, focus on them kids, focus on yourself. You get them things right together. Everything else is just, you feel me, you know? Yeah, the Lord works it all out. Like, folks ask me all the time, like, you know, how I do what I do today. The Lord, they like, bro, how you even have enough time, man? You got 5 kids, you got a wife, you got job, engineer, you running 3 businesses, you serve this organization, you serving on this board. Ooh, like, bro, just do it. Like,
yeah, that's it. That's quite literally all.
Man, just do it.
Yeah, that's quite literally all. Damn, we creeping up on what, an hour and 20, hour and 10? Damn. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Bro, I literally used to do this for a living.
Yeah.
Like, I had a podcast called Growing the Green when I was working with Tuskegee University.
What?
Yeah, they had brought me on to help them out with some of their cannabis initiatives and stuff like that. And we got content and everything on YouTube called Growing the Green, and it documents my process of going through the application process, even with me being denied. Like,
really?
The Growing the Green podcast concept was to be able to have conversation about cannabis here locally as well as a national level, and just having a conversation so it's not so taboo. And with me as an individual that's involved in the state, that's actually going through the process, that's going to the commission meetings, like I'm providing folks with facts, you feel me, that's coming out of these commission meetings. Like, you can watch the news ain't giving you, you know, what I'm giving you.
Yeah, the news giving you the half of the footnotes. You give him the footnotes, the whole thing.
They just telling you what happened. Everything. They ain't even giving you. They ain't giving you the meat. They just showing you. You feel me? Like
somebody
the display.
ate. Yeah. Somebody ate, boo. That's it.
That's it. They ain't telling you what they ate, what the chef cooked up. You feel me? They not giving you all that. So so we had a lot of conversations around that, and I appreciate that opportunity as well too, because it helped me establish my relationships with Alabama State University, because they also went for a vertically integrated license. Tuskegee University ultimately went for a vertically integrated license. I really wish they would have talked to me before doing so, because I could have helped them position themselves a little better, and they could have potentially won. They should have just, I tell all these other folks, man, that's out here still trying to fight, they should have just hired me, dog, because I did the work, myself as a single man, I did the work of like 20 attorneys, bro. As one man, I did all this. Me putting my application together, when I talked to other folks around the nation that was helping applicants here in Alabama, and I tell them I did it myself, they like, man, that was a lot of work. I'm like, yeah. And these are people that respect what I did, because they know what it takes.
Yeah.
They knew what it took.
Yeah.
And I was able to get it done. I'm like, that's because I'm the boots on the ground, dog.
Yeah.
And a lot of these folks coming from out of state, I'm like, yo, y'all don't know the landscape of Alabama.
Yeah.
So whatever you thinking that happened that you can do in New York or Denver or Chicago or California,
this ain't that.
it don't work like that in the South.
Yeah.
It just don't. So, they went for a license and everything as well too. I'm hoping they also end up getting one, but I don't know what their future look like.
Yeah.
But you can always come back and collaborate with me.
My guy.
It's so much that I can do with my license. There's no cap on how much cannabis I can grow, and there's no cap on how many facilities I can have. So I can grow at these respectable institutions. And my goal is to be able to create an HBCU pipeline into the industries for those that want to get hands-on experience.
That's so cool.
This industry requires every level of profession. We need engineers, we need architects, we need plumbers, we need electricians, we need CPAs, we need marketing, we need landscape, we need HVAC, we need construction, we need all these things.
I don't do none of that stuff. Dang. I was like, come on, say something.
we need
marketing. There we go.
We need all these things. And,
I can talk to the plant.
And with me as an owner, man, I can make that happen because I call the shots. I don't respond to nobody. I got small investors, but a lot of these folks that got invested back in them, they got to make their stakeholders happy.
Yeah.
I am the stakeholder. But I still got my other folks as well too, but they respect what it is that I do, and they believe in my vision and they support it. So that's the biggest thing.
Okay. That's what's up, bro. This has been incredibly eye-opening. I think going into this interview, I had so many questions, and now I have like 6 more.
Well, we're going to need a part 2 and 3.
We're going to need part 2 and a side interview too. That's hilarious. So towards the end of the interview, I like to ask 3 questions. The first question being, if a future version of yourself was to come through that door right now, you get 2 questions to ask yourself. What do you think those 2 questions would be? And when you see this version of yourself, this version has everything that you imagine.
Myself, man.
Yeah.
How's the family? How's the family? That'll be the very first question. The second question, how are you? And the last, was it all worth it?
Yeah.
That's it.
Straight like that.
Straight like that. Because we already on the way, and them the 3 most important things.
Yeah.
Family, yourself, and the work that you put in. Do you feel like it was impactful to change the nation?
Tough. I'm not mad at that at all. Okay.
Hopefully he's governor of Alabama or something. Something wild.
Mayor of Birmingham.
Yeah, something wild.
That'd
like
be
that.
tough though. Second question being, if you had a song to describe your journey up until this point, what would that song be?
Oh man, easy, any day, Big Crit, Booby Mile.
Woo! Hey.
Get money.
Yes, sir.
Don't be no lame.
Yeah.
Bitch woman's never arrived foreign, so play the game. Come on, dog. We in it, dog. We at it. That's my number one go-to song. Whenever I need a little bit of lift up, or I feel like I'm getting low, or I'm just high off, whatever my mood is. That's
the
my
one.
go-to.
Okay. All right. Well, shoot. The last question being, who do you think the next hustler needs to be to sit in that chair?
Man, that's a good question. No.
Yes, I got it out of every interview. I just want to hear somebody say that's a good question.
Yeah. That's a tough one. Enough for me to be able to call it Mayor Wolfen.
First person to say that. Okay.
Mayor Wolfen.
Somehow I'm gonna try to make that happen.
We can get some senators in here. Maybe we can get some of the OGs in here. Senator Roger Smitterman, Senator Robert Stewart, because I feel like them conversations are more important about what's really going on and how you can really make impact. And it's important to hear from those folks. But since we here in Birmingham, we got a few folks. Representative Tillman, he's actually he's a graduate from A&M as well. So good brother. He's actually one of the new representatives. I think he's maybe in his 3rd year now, something like that. That's. We need more of those to be able to mobilize and encourage the people and really let them know what's going on. So being able to talk with the political landscape and field, which I think is inevitable now. Some folks don't like to talk politics.
Yeah.
If you don't like to talk politics, you're just distracted.
Yeah.
Some folks don't want to play the political game.
Yeah.
But the political game gonna play you.
Yes, sir. So, come on.
You got to get it, and you can get the information right from the source from them.
Yeah. I'm gonna really lean into that because politics is something that low key is one of my passions, is to pay attention to politics. Mm-hmm. So, okay.
Yeah, if you end up want to turn this thing out to a political podcast or start up a political podcast, I'll sit next to you.
My guy, I like that a lot.
Sit next to you.
I like that a lot.
I'm at the State House, dog. We can do it from the State House.
That'll be fire, actually. Okay. Don't get my wheels turning in the middle of an episode. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No,
It's my
man,
show. What are you doing?
It's all about inspiration, man.
Yeah, that's true.
If I ain't inspiring the next, man, what am I doing? I ain't trying to beat you down. I want to uplift you.
Yeah. That's what I'm really all about. I can't wait to get to a point where I can see somebody and they say, hey, you inspired me to do X, Y, and can't wait for that moment.
Yeah, nah, man. And them moments are real because I still talk to folks, especially in the cannabis space. Like when I was looking at getting to the industry, I had my go-to people, that I got inspiration from. Like one of them people being Jesse Horton, which me and him have a similar background. He's an engineer as well, too. He's an operator up in Oregon. And then, I got my brother Tahir Johnson. He's a dispensary operator up there in New Jersey. And these are folks that look like me that comes from a culture that is similar to mine. You feel me? Like, I can have a conversation with them and it won't be no problem just kicking in there. Just how they presented themselves, they enter the room as themselves. And I feel like that's very important.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being in spaces. Well, I don't change to when I enter the room. It's still me. But, I'm tired of being in spaces that really ain't designed for me to be successful in it, and I'll come in and I'll shift the room. But overall, my time being in the presence of these people probably wasn't the best for me. So when I'm able to connect with my folks and those that inspire and encourage me along the way, and now that I'm in the position that I'm in, I get a lot of that folks saying I'm inspiring them to do different things. And it's not necessarily in just the cannabis space, just to see how I carry myself, how I go about, spending time with my family, raising my kids, with my wife, leaning heavy on the Lord. Like some folks need to see these things to understand that it's real and it's obtainable. So it's just be real and unique to yourself, because can't nobody be you. So some folks see it and get some inspiration. It encourage them to be the original version of themselves.
There we go. Okay. I think we're going to sign off on that, man. I'm really rock with it. This has been another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle. Obviously, Twan is a bomb-ass guest. If you've made it this far, drop the deuces in the chat for me. Actually, bump that. Drop a tree in there for me. Drop a tree for my guy in the chat, man. I'm your boy KB. Catch me next week on Thursday. We're going to have another one. Peace out.
Peace and love.
Boom. Good one. And you said your socials early, so I ain't even have to go back and say it. Love it. That was excellent.
I appreciate it, man.
God.